What's up? Welcome to the Smash Masters podcast, episode 85, where we talk about collision repair, paintless dent repair, or paintless dent removal, depending on what you call it, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Nick?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. This weekend, it's starting to get colder here. Next Sunday, I think the high is 29 degrees. The low is like 17 or maybe like 13, one of those degrees. So I was thinking, I'm gonna be slow this week just because the weather changed or whatever. This Monday morning, I woke up and filled my entire schedule up plus next week and a half, like within an hour this morning.
How'd that work for you?
That's pretty cool. It went from like, hang out, kind of enjoy the week to, man, I got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of how it happens.
You just never really know. I mean, yeah, it's happening more and more often for me. The more that I stay out here doing this stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of a blessing. It's kind of cool.
That is very cool. The spontaneous work is definitely a good thing. I mean, I had kind of the opposite effect. It snowed all weekend. So my Friday appointment rescheduled. My Saturday appointment, when I verified that they would still be there or have a garage, never answered me.
Yeah.
So that one went away. And then my Sunday appointment rescheduled. So I had my first weekend off in this whole year. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Nick, I'm trying. It's it's a grind. Obviously, like you would know, but it's getting better. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty good.
Yeah, very awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very awesome. No, I'm loving it. It's I mean, it's a tough transition, be working both in the body shop and doing this at the same time and doing this podcast. I'll tell you, man, it's 8 p.m. where I am. 8 p.m. is my bedtime, guys. So I'm trying, trying to do this for you guys. Yeah. Holy crap, David White made it in at the beginning of the show.
How about that?
I think the only other time you did that is when you were the guest. Oh man. All right, sorry. Had to poke a little fun there. But yeah, no, it's it should be I should be busy next coming weekend. So definitely having fun with PDR.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome.
I got a great show for you tonight. Let's bring him on out here so I can introduce him. We got Craig Dyer in the house. Thanks for joining us.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's awesome.
Howdy, Smash Masters. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a while now since I was at Anson, and that was one of my first recordings, like of doing a live session with Gene and the guys in there. That's and right. Talk about being like nervous. I was crazy nervous then, and since then we've put 85 episodes on the board, and it's crazy what that can do for you.
You guys are killing it, and I hope you plan on coming back to Anson, specifically May the 2nd this year as our open house and our 30th anniversary. So put that on your calendar, fellas.
That'll be a good time. I need to come. We missed last year just because I was here trying to, continue building the PDR gig up here. But I'm definitely going to make time for that this year.
Yeah.
Listen to you guys backstage. It's awesome to hear that you guys are filling your schedules up, even though you maybe had a cancellation on a Sunday or so. Either way, sounds like you guys are rocking. I'm proud of you and happy for you.
We appreciate it. It.
Thank you very much.
Howdy, David White.
Starting from the bottom, it can be tough at times. It has its big ups, but it also has its big downs too. But that's just part of it, and eventually it'll level itself out. But it's been fun. I've been enjoying both aspects of it because there's learning curves and all of it.
What's up, Adam? It's the journey you'll appreciate. someday.
Yeah, yeah, I for sure, and that's that's why we kind of wanted to have you on here because you've got a hugely successful journey, and we kind of wanted to get like what your start was like, how you got into all this stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
let's start way back when. What's the first time you heard of paintless dent repair?
well, it was 30 years ago, and I wasn't ever seeking anything out in paintless dent repair. I'd been in construction, so to speak, my whole life. My dad started Anson 30 years ago, and I decided I want to give that a whirl, selling some products. It was Anson Industries was started with O-rings, gaskets, seals, cable ties, things of that nature in the industrial world. We were also a master distributor for the southwest part of the United States. Protective Closures, which owns a company called Cat Plugs out of Buffalo, New York. And we started getting orders for all these hole plugs and dent companies, dent this, dent that. And long story short, that's where I got started. My dad just like, hey, go out and meet some of these folks. And one of the first things I did was fly to Atlanta. There was a hailstorm north of Atlanta. I took a suitcase full of hole plugs, went and met a bunch of guys, and that's really first time I ever heard of paintless dent repair. And
interesting.
My orders were to hey, find out what these guys do, what else we might help them with, and in a short period of time, we had what we call the mini knockdown. Back then, most people were using golf tees or something they'd whittled, so to speak, or made on their own, and that was the true beginning of it. And so, yeah, as far as Anson goes, that was my introduction, quite by accident.
Hole plugs.
Hole plugs, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that's really how Anson started, and I started literally with hole plugs. Never heard of PDR, paintless dent repair. In my first 30 years of living, and the past 30 years, I've heard of it a lot, even know just enough about it to get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So when did you decide to maybe pick up a tool?
So Anson started in 1996, and the hole plug thing's what started us doing distribution and making some insignificant things for the industry. And I got to meet and know some people in the industry. And as far as picking up a tool, a good friend of mine named Mike Haggard, who did all the original training over in Japan, ended up training me. We started in 99 in Sanger, Texas. A massive hailstorm hit New Orleans, Louisiana, somewhere around the new year. And that's where it all got started. Mike's training was basically a 30-day course. I was very fortunate to have hands-on during the 30 days and well after, and we're still good friends to this day. They do hail. All I ever did was hail. He trained Daniel Grom. Maybe you guys have heard of Daniel Grom in the motorcycle tank business. My friend Mike trained him a few years before me. Daniel fixes motorcycle tanks. I want no part of it. I always fixed hell cars. I assure you, he didn't want any part of that. So it's funny the different directions that things go. And it took me literally all over the world, and still does to this day, just in a different facet.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like what are some places it took you? Did you end up in like Australia or anything like that?
I probably worked in Australia more than anywhere. I spent as much as 9 months out of the year there, 1 year. Working out of the country, we could be in country all around the world for 90 days, and then you had to exit the country for 4 or 5 days, according to the regulations. So Australia, a lot of the guys would jump over to New Zealand for 4 or 5 days. I would fly home for 2 weeks. Other guys would go other places. But Australia, I probably worked there more than anywhere. Made some incredible friends. My top 2 or 3 friends in the business. A gentleman named Brad Walker. He just turned 67. He retired this past October. known him forever, literally.
Mm.
But yeah, all over the world. My first tour on the Hell Trail in another country was Austria. Absolutely beautiful, good time. 2001. I wasn't a very good tech, but let me tell you, it pays something to know people.
Yeah, for sure. I tell everybody the networking is probably my favorite part of like trade shows, the MTE, the Anson Open House, all of that is just knowing the right people can really further not just your career but your personal life, all sorts of things. I mean, so speaking of which, I mentioned in a post that it was you and Lisa took the trip up to Canada this past year,
Absolutely.
for the Cam Auto competition, and I got to go up there because it's only about a 4 or 5 hour drive for me. So we got to spend a lot of time together while these guys worked their butts off fixing doors. We sat back and drank beer and watched them.
I tell you what, there was 10 competitors from 10 different countries or nations that were, I know you'll agree, every single one was amazing. They should all be first place.
Mm-hmm.
But the camaraderie there and getting to visit with you and others there, you can't trade for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Lisa and I appreciate the people we meet basically anywhere we go. Mm-hmm. And we definitely enjoyed visiting with you, the competitors, and other people that were around there. That it was a fun event. And if you don't go do that stuff, you never get that relationship going that might be helpful to you in the future,
For sure.
Right. I didn't have my passport set up in time to go, so I couldn't go, but I've got all that stuff sorted out now, so it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, that's why I didn't go.
Well, Nick, have you done anything else out of the country?
I've never been.
I tell you what, now that you got that passport, put it to use.
Yeah.
As you guys know, we've got MTE coming up, 25th anniversary of MTE. I personally went to the first two and didn't go back till 11, 12 years ago and been every year since. After MTE, Vince and Kate are going to represent Anson in the show in Germany,
cool.
Which is, gosh, it's just coming right up as well. Lisa and I, about the time Kate and Vince get back from Germany, we'll be at the DB Expo in Italy. Mm-hmm. Chris Howe and I just spent last week through the weekend in Florida at a corporate event that had about 70 or 80 techs. So as an Anson team, we get to meet a lot of people all over the world, and it's a good thing. I see people coming to Anson open houses. There's even an after party at my house. There's a couple of people I know that met at the after party at my house several years ago and went on to do great things together. And that's Chad Peters and Todd Zimmerman. They'd never met, and they hooked up, so to speak, at the after party at my house. Two wonderful individuals that I hope each and every one of you know. But there's a lot of good stories like that. Without showing up to things, you could miss out.
For sure. Yeah. You got to show up. Speaking of that kind of deal and meeting people in certain events, I mean, Nick, when you and I went to the Anson Open House, that's when we met Nick Van Hook from Dent Vision Tools.
Amazing young man.
Yeah, for sure. And we actually got the chance to go and grab dinner with him in between the open house and your after party. And right there, we started a whole relationship. Nick sends us stuff to test out, and it's been a really good, awesome relationship. Actually, Nick is now doing logos in those dent zappers, those custom logos, and he made one for me to display at MTE. I'm ecstatic to see it. I really am.
Well, Well, Nick with Dent Vision, obviously he's uber talented, got a wonderful mind that just comes up with some amazing little things that you're
I
like,
know, right?
I think a lot of his stuff falls in the category of people will say, "Oh, well, why didn't I think of that?" We've got one we're working on now that it's one of those when everybody sees it. Oh, why didn't I think of that kind of things?
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, Nick is also a wonderful young man. Wonderful young man.
For sure.
There's a lot of people out there that come up with different ideas, and some of them follow through with it, and this, that, and the other. The cream of the crop are people like Nick, and there's others. But yeah, if any of you guys have anything you want to do, don't just sit on your hands. Go do it. You know.
You got to get active out there.
Yeah. You know, lead the charge for yourself, and just like you guys are doing in your young PDR career, if it's fair to say that.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's fair to say it. Mine officially started in 2024, and I mean, since then we went to Kiko's 5-day training and explored their manufacturing plan and all that. The first time I went to that same year, I think, was we went to the Anson Open House. We went
SEMA.
The first time
MTE.
me and Stefan officially met was at MTE.
How cool is that?
I mean, it was all because we kind of just went out there and just, showed up, I guess if you'd like to say that.
Right.
You know, in October, PDR College held an event at our Anson building in Burleson, which, by the way, is open to any of you guys that want to have any kind of event or meet up or whatever. You know, some of the best in the world were there educating people. And, you know, I didn't get to watch full time. I wasn't a paid attendee, but watching people like Bryce Kelly and Jay Ma, and I'm going to forget some names, but you get the picture. You know, you got Keith Constantino, Paul Corden, Shane Jacks, and a variety of others for, I believe it was 4 days. And I encourage each and every one of you, not just that event, but when things are offered that you can go to an event and pay for training like that, it's not paying. You're investing in yourself. Yes, everybody says that, but it's so damn true.
Right.
It really is.
Yep, absolutely.
I can tell you this much. Mike Haggard, who trained me starting in '99, they were getting $30,000 a person to train over in Japan. There was nobody over there. I became a friend, and fortunately, I got in for $15,000 cash.
There you go.
And let me tell you, it's a different thing than if your buddy trains you. If you're going somewhere and paying, you're invested. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
you know, you train your cousin for free or something like that. It's a whole different ball game, unless they've got skin in the game. And so yeah, anybody out there listening, put some skin in the game, and practice. And these guys here, Stefan and Nick, are living proof of it.
Oh, you are 100% for sure. I mean, I get at all the time at the body shop, you know, the guys, I'll grab the cold glue and I'm over there like pop, and I turn around and I got two guys like watching, you know, and they're paying attention, and I love that. And you know, they've come to me a few times. They're like, man, I'd really love to learn PDR. I'm like, I'd love for you to learn PDR, but you don't want to learn from me. I just learned. I said, but I can absolutely give you a few tips and tricks that helped me get started, and then you're on your own.
Sure.
But it's cool to see the interest.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love sharing the knowledge for sure.
I think anybody that's gone through the full gamut of finding your tooltip first and then progressing from there and getting to where you're a real live tech that can repair a dent, not just make it look better, but perfect it, so to speak. Nobody needs to tiptoe into it. You got to be super serious, and hopefully you take it.
Has to become a lifestyle.
A lifestyle and supporting up your family, you know. We have people coming in that walk in and are ooh and nod, and they'll say, "Oh, I'll get my glue at whatever big box store." And the line is, "Are you doing this for a hobby or a living?" Because it's just fine details like that of using something way better or a little better, or being professionally in the business, or not. It's you got to be all in, because getting going in PDR isn't that easy as far as becoming a really good tech.
Yeah.
Right.
I do like what Nick said. It becomes a lifestyle. I think the turning point for me, I literally looked around. I said, you know what? Any moment where I'm not working, I have that free time where I get to do me things. Gone. Now all that time is in the garage pushing dents. So that's literally what you have to do. I mean, maybe not all your free time, but you got to take a huge chunk of it and dedicate it.
You pretty much got to be talking about it, looking at it, or having like ideas bounced around at all times. Though, I base the reference a lot of times talking about lifestyles to music, because I used to be really heavy into music, and a lot of these guys, they start out renting an apartment or something together, and they have no furniture, all their stuff's kind of set up, and they're just in there. Right. They come home to like whatever they can conjure up, in the living room, and you kind of have to do that, just to. How else are you going to make time to do it if it's kind of like, okay, well, I'll just go over here and do it some, and then you'll forget, and then whatever on the next.
You know what, it takes minutes, hours, days, months, and for my case it was years before I felt super comfortable. Actually working at a factory outside of Istanbul, Turkey, 16,800 cars. There was a whole bunch of us. These things had big dents on them, and semi-stretched. Not a ton of them on the car. Was subcontracting as a tech for a company out of Spain that had the gig. You had to do 2 of these a day to keep your stall. And let me tell you, it was tough. There were some guys way better than me. And, at some point you're the slowest guy in the shop. And
right.
At some point you get past that. For me, it was the 4th year, and that was my 4th year. And after that storm, went to Australia with some cars that had hundreds of dents on them, but they were quarter size. It was literally like a hot knife going through butter. And so maybe you guys have hit your stride since 24. Maybe it's going to be 28. But at some point, for me, it was that 4th year that, like, holy smokes, I'm like a real hell tech now. But it took 4 years. So anybody that may get discouraged after a month or 6 months or 9 months or a year and a half, keep plugging away.
Time.
Yeah. And even in that first year or two, you're still going to be able to make a living. So
that's a great point. We actually ask most of our guests that exact question: how long it took to become comfortable. So you went and answered it without us even asking. What I will ask is, was there anything in particular during that time that you found you struggled with? Like, is there something in particular, or something that like really made it click and now it all makes sense?
Yeah. So being a hell tech, but back in the day, there was no such thing as glue pulling. Well, obviously, when you get hail damage on a car, it's going to hit the rails. And let me tell you, go try to fix some rails on a hail damaged car without glue pulling. Well, we did. Wonderful company called Dentcraft. A gentleman that started, name was Sid Emmert, had all these little wires. So we fished all the little wires we could through. Obviously, blending would have been wonderful, but none of us knew how to blend back then. I'm still horrible at blending. Then when glue came out, I was working in a basement in Stuttgart, Germany at a Hahn and Long Volvo dealership. And I noticed the guys that were getting through the cars the fastest was on the rails, and glue pulling had just started at this time. And once you learn how to push a dent, you can push a dent. I'm not talking about big smashes like you guys do, but nickel, dime, quarter, $50.
Mhm.
Once you get it down, I mean, the guy right next to you can do it. The guy across the shop can do it. But the speed was in the rails, and I've really trained myself to be really good at rails and glue pulling. And I became better than 95% of the people at glue pulling rails. And that was the difference that got me up to speed with people that had more experience and surpassed, because that would be the thing you're going to get hung up on. Anybody can fix a roof, anybody can fix a hood, anybody can fix the wind blown damage in the doors. But if you can't glue pull on rails, you know, your feet are stuck in the mud, so to speak, or they were back in the day. Now I know everybody's supposedly a fantastic blending hammer handlers and all of that, which helps. That's for sure.
Yeah, it helps with my speed. That's for sure. Grabbing the blending hammer over the knockdown when possible.
Randy Hobson had mentioned you fixing rails, oddly enough, a couple of chats up, but he said he met Craig many years ago. He was one of the best he'd ever met. He said, I never forget a car with a nasty hit next to the rail. Let's just say he killed it. His quality left a lasting memory. So,
well, thank you, Randy. I appreciate that. And I tell you what, I'm not near as good at that anymore, but at one time I could go through rails, and I call them Texas hail rails, because we get a little bigger hail here than most places. And I'm telling you, over the years, people like me, Lee Ross, Zach Blue, whole herds of other people I've worked with, you know, you get to doing this Texas hail rails. If you can fix it, you can fix anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. I've seen some pretty nasty hail repairs like come through there with some.
I see pictures. Yeah, it looks nasty. It definitely makes me think twice about going to Texas for hail work. That's for sure.
Oh, it's not all that, but you get some pretty nasty ones here. There's gravy as well. I never got the gravy. You can ask Lee. I think he's on here.
Lee's commenting right now. He said he learned so much from Craig over the years. He said would not be the tech he is without Craig. So
you know what's really cool is I've learned a lot from Lee in recent years, that you know, it's good payback. We can all learn from one another, you know.
Oh, isn't that awesome? That's one of my favorite parts about this industry, because in auto body, nobody wants to learn from anybody. I mean, even I don't want to learn from anybody else in auto body, but I forced myself to in order to learn the trade. So when I walk into, for example, I mean, David White, you know, he's my local guy. And I'm working with him just about every Friday this year. And there would be a bigger hit. You know, he'd be doing a bigger hit in his bay, and he'd ask me my opinion on how to glue pull it. I'm a newbie, you know, but you can always learn from somebody else. You can always learn from each other. I mean, you never discount anybody. I mean, what he was using me for was metal flow. I'm used to moving big metal in the body shop, so that's why he asked me.
So David's a smart guy.
Yeah, right. He knows when to ask people, even if they're somebody that he just trained in PDR the week before. You know?
Right.
You know, somebody that's uber talented like that keeps an open mind. Man, that's the only way you grow. I can tell you. Towards the end of my hell pushing days, working with some guys that were maybe 5-6 years techs. I don't mean that disrespectfully at all, because I was way more into years of pushing, but they were showing me things. I'm like, holy smokes, wish I knew that a long time ago. You know?
Right. I mean, there are things in body work like that, you know, like I've been doing things 18, 15 years a certain way, and some kid comes along and he's just knocking them out. What the hell are you doing, kid?
Yeah, you get a little pissed off and jealous for a second, and then your mind opens back up, right?
Right. And then it's like, oh, I could benefit off of this, you know.
I mean, everybody has their own niche way of doing something, and that's how you have different ways of repairing stuff. And that's why it's good to learn from a little bit of everybody. I know throughout the body shops, when I would go, to different shops, there would always be somebody there that you could watch and learn from, whether it was positive or negative. You could still learn from them.
Sure. I mean, I learned from a lot of negative stuff that I did. You know.
Yeah.
I learned how to glue pull on aftermarket paint jobs, not without pulling some paint, but it's all about timing. Leave your glue on the car. People are going to say, well, how do you do that? It's all about timing. You know, I don't recommend you go out and start pulling on aftermarket paint tomorrow. Trust me, I had thousands and thousands of practice times before I got it to where I was 99% on it. You know?
Right.
But,
that's actually something I think I have a little experience with, just being in the body shop, because it comes right out of the booth and then they want you to fix it right now.
Yep.
So it's like, well, all I can do is glue pull. If I pull the paint off, you're repainting it. I mean, you got to repaint it anyway. So might as well let me try, you know? So yeah, I learned a little bit on that. But the main thing I learned with that was don't pull the pop, you know, pull, let it go, peel it off with your hands. Don't pop that tab off.
No, not unless you plan on leaving the glue on the car. And there's a trick to that too.
I've heard something along those lines recently. So actually, that's funny that you said that.
But it's not something that you kind of need to be in person and then practice after that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'll show you someday.
It's an experience that, I'd love it. Yeah, that would be great. Nick from Dent Vision says, got to crack a few paints to make an omelet.
You daggum right. You daggum right.
I like that. That's really good.
Yep. If you're not pulling a little paint every now and then, you're not getting enough work, or you're not trying hard enough.
Right.
In your instance, you're in a body shop. You know, anytime I fixed hell cars in a body shop, like, let's give it a whirl. Worst thing can happen. Well, you got to paint that rail. You know,
it's a great place to learn PDR. Great place.
Yeah.
You can definitely learn what not to do there, and it still be okay.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's the place to mess up. That's for sure.
When you're literally out in the field and don't have that backup, you gotta be a little more careful.
You do. And starting out, I like most of you guys did, not in the body shop and stuff, that would be like so nerve-wracking to go out and work on a car, not knowing like what the extent your tool can be pushed to before something like that happens, you know? Like, how close are you to doing like pulling paint or pushing hard enough to, you know, when you're learning? That's got to be challenging. That's got to be stressful. I mean, because I did a lot of my pushing in a body shop, like learning what the tool limits were, like how hard you can actually push in an area, what you need to do before, like, you're tapping down crowns to get metal to move back toward the area you're trying to push. All that stuff I learned in the body shop.
Right.
So
I guess with me, probably the toughest thing on risk on how much you can tweak would be something years ago over a brace or something, you know, a tight spot, and you got to tweak your weld tail. Let me tell you, I did a little too hard more than once. And you know, tight spots would be the toughest back in the day. You know, everything was metal except for, you know, the Audi, A4, 6, and then the A8s were all aluminum, but there wasn't that much aluminum whenever it got started. And you know, so it was a crazy different animal whenever you had to fix an Audi A8 or something like that. You know, you're like, what the hell? You know.
Interesting.
And then different aluminums came along over the years, and different alloys, this high strength steel. I mean, you can have a Mercedes roof with high strength steel and lean on the rod and not hardly get a quarter size dent up. Some of that stuff's so tough. So I think it's more the alloy that you're pushing on than what you're doing as a technician to go too far or not far enough. Because a Kia Soul, the rails on those, man, you flip it with your finger and you're putting a dent in. But when you go to repair them, it's really hard to fix one that's really hit with hail and not have the little flickers. Do you guys know what I mean by little flickers? Kia Soul's, you know, super light metal makes it tougher. But you're going to get to see it all at some point.
Right. Right.
Yeah, for sure. So I wanted to know about if you had ever done any real designing of any tools and something that we use.
What real designing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make your own tools or anything like that?
Physically with my hands, no.
Okay.
At Anson, we do some fabrication. But we have machine shops. We have people like A1 Tools that build stuff. Anything they built is, for the most part, what I wanted them to build, just like they build for a Dent Slayer and a Reaper and things of that nature. The new compact hub is something that we've done recently. It's a very unique design for a hub. Not just the size of it. The size of it, for me as a held tech, is you just got so much more access with a smaller hub. If you're pushing whale tails or hand tools, or if you're getting that dent that's by the windshield and you got to give over that big wide brace, you just have more clearance. Yeah, probably the first thing I ever designed was a stupid little knockdown called the Mini Knockdown. And then you can probably, I think we still have a part number called a CDX. I mean, we're going back almost 30 years with a few little things like that. And then a gap of being on the hell trail for, oh gosh, however long, 15, 16 years, hands-on learning. That's where a lot of the tools have come from.
Right. So during that time, you're out there pushing and you're coming up with ideas, and is that responsible for some of the tools we have nowadays? Is there something you take credit for?
You know what? If you ask me today, and you don't have to, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you what my favorite tool of all time.
There you go.
It is or was a little red 10-inch whale tail from Dentcraft, and that little red 10-inch whale tail from Dentcraft is amazing. More so for a hell repair than somebody doing big smash. You're not going to need it.
Right.
But when it's at its best is after a lot of use, and the straightness comes out of it and it has an arch. And so one of the things with my tequila tool line was I did essentially arched whale tails for a number of reasons. It's kind of like it's already broke in. Also, the little shorter ones, back in the day, I don't know what the Honda sunroof roofs look like now, but it used to be just little boxes. And if you're working around sunroofs, you could tear the front of your knuckle off, pushing your whale tail in, back of your knuckle off, trying to get it out. And so that arch helps with comfort and access and things of that nature. But that was all based off of me wearing out Dentcraft 10-inch whale tails. They weren't wore out. They were perfect when they were broke in.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
So
mine's got an little arch in it.
Yeah. Arches are fine.
Yeah.
You've been using it. You get better
it's
access.
Definitely been used. That's one of the ones that when I'm doing a hail repair or whatever the case is, I put that one on my cart every time. I add that one and a couple of other ones because I'm like, I know I'm going to use this one somewhere.
There's I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably the most popular door tool on the planet in its hub form is called the door lords. And this is a process that was started. Actually, Lisa and I were up in Michigan at Crystal Ellison's, and I got a call from Mike Toledo. Hey, I've got something I want you to make for upper doors, like on Mercedes, how they really roll out and you need a big foot or your tools just spin it. So we worked on it for a while, prototype. A1 was building the prototypes. And long story short, he wanted that short 10-inch version. And so we did it, but we also, I don't want to say did it my way, went with stainless, went with thicker steel and shaved it down and did longer links. So that was one in conjunction with somebody that just wanted a 10-inch one, that I took it from there and made it into something different that literally we can't have enough of them built.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's how it's incredible. It's incredible. And then the new one that we did, it's just a blade of 2 links, compact door lords, little 5/16 diameter. So we keep going. We do about 100 part numbers a year. We're well over 4,000 now.
Yeah, Lee was just commenting on the compact hubs, how good they are. Says the rattlesnakes are stupid good.
Yeah, that's I'll have to take another look at them, because I at one point somebody told me just buy Dentcraft wheel tails, but just from what you told me right there, I'm gonna take a look at the rattlesnakes and see if I can add them to my arsenal, and if they'll really help me out there.
That's a perfect way of saying it, is adding to your arsenal, because whoever told you buy Dentcraft wheel tails, they were telling you correct.
Yeah,
sure.
But adding something to an arsenal is, don't sell yourself short. Have it in your arsenal. I mean, those arched wheel tails that I call rattlesnake tails, they're really great for getting behind braces and doors too. If you're just door dinging it, and they come in nice for that. You can bend them around. But yeah, there's I don't know how many different little tools and accessories that we've done as a team over the years.
That's very cool. I mean, it's something that I'm always racking my head on something like, man, I'd love to create a tool that changes the industry.
Yeah.
So I'm always racking my head on that kind of stuff.
You know what I thought was cool? Like when we went to Anson the first time, like just when I got into dent repair in general, like collecting packs of glue, you're like, you get a drawer full of it and you're like, wow, I'm really collecting a lot of glue here. And then you go to Anson, you see it everywhere, like all over the walls. And it's like the largest glue collection, like, I guess, that's out there.
I don't know of one that exists any larger than that.
Well, after you get off looking at the walls, then you're like, well, let's go out back here. And then these containers are like full of it. Just like, Jesus, like that's pretty cool. I mean, you got every glue, I think, that you can pretty much that's worth anything buying from there now, I would say.
Well, you said it right whenever you said worth anything, because they're all quality glues, and everybody has their favorite. The bulk of them are built right here in the United States. Some of them are built in England, and now most recently in the past couple of years, manufacturer in Brazil that everybody buys their glue from. We're a customer of theirs as well, and so are you if you buy some of the Brazilian glues. I think we carry 6 different options in that. And if you're a fan of them, great. If you're not, that's okay too.
I am a fan of the alcohol release glues. I am. I use the green and red jiu-jitsu glue quite a bit up here that I got from you guys. And it's really good. I try to use a glue in every situation, every category, just kind of max it out, get the total feel of it. Just to see what you can do and can't do with it. And you can do a lot of things with those glues. The alcohol, you can't really do lateral tension and that kind of stuff, but everything else, I mean, it's pretty good.
Here's the thing about glue. Even when glue pulling started coming around, the first I recall was a company called Worth, WURTH. We sold a gazillion of those kits, and they weren't intended for paintless dent repair. Just to improve something in a body shop. And the tabs were bigger than $50. They had big ovals, and as PDR techs, we would take those things and cut them into crease tabs with scissors, or cut them down and make them smaller, and all that sort of thing. Now I would look back and say their glue was horrible, and it was. I mean, compared to what's available today, the first top quality glue I remember, the first 2 would be Dent Out Red, and then the green that we've always had at Anson. And there's a black we call Black Widow. But forever, until about a dozen years ago, that's damn near all there was, And I use green all the time, winter, summer, spring, fall, and just change the timing of your pull. And well, that made you a pretty good glue puller by being limited.
Yeah.
Now it's easier.
Yeah, for sure. I was just scrolling through the chat and I missed Randy's talking about, selling a lot of glues and stuff. But he says nobody in here. Well, I'll just put it up here. He says nobody in here drills. We know nobody drills, but he said ask Craig how many hole plugs they sell each year.
Oh my gosh, Randy, I wouldn't know. Nobody drills anymore, I don't think, or that's what I hear.
They all buff. That's what I like. Grab the
So
buffer.
I'll tell you a funny story. There's a big company in our industry, and it's been in the industry for quite some time, and multiple companies, and I don't mean to make light of it, but every year, my father was a very humorous man, and we would sell gazillion, I don't know the number, but a gazillion hole plugs to a company that swore they don't drill. And my dad was one that would walk around with a cigar and a beer in his hand late in the day and see that order going out and said, well, it's not even Christmas time. I always figured they used them for Christmas ornaments because they damn sure don't drill, evidently. And I'm not going to say who that was. And if you guys are guessing, you're wrong. Okay. So.
Yeah.
All fine. I have a standing joke that goes on. So, I think it's the company's called Z-Bart, the one that does the corrosion protection, and their whole plugs have Z-Bart written on them.
Yep.
I want to find somewhere where I can get some custom hole plugs where you can write a business name of your competitor, your local competitor, on your hole plugs.
Well,
when people find them, they don't find your name on them; they find your competitor's name.
Now that's a little bit devilish, isn't it? But it's a great idea.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I was
But
just
what if they do a good repair though, and just have the hole there? You think that would backfire any?
That's a good repair.
I'm just saying, like, what if the outside repair looks really good?
I think every technician should have a relationship on retail wise with the owner of the car and be honest and give both options. With a dealership they're working for, the body shop they're working for, translate to the owner of the car. This is the best way. Of course, now there's so many more glue pulling options, but I can't answer the question on how many we sell. It's still a bunch.
It's a lot.
It's still a bunch.
No, it's and to the topic drilling holes. You got. Let me get the printer running for you, Stefan. I'll get the plug knocked out. Dent Vision plugs.
There you go.
I get multicolor too, so they stand out.
Yes.
I want them to say CT Dent Works.
Oh, David White's gonna kick your butt.
Oh man, he'd probably take a bunch of them too. No, it's
paint to match, painted hole plugs. That'd be good.
Paint to match hole plugs. I like that.
So a lot of the white ones used to go out, and people would put touch-up paint with the code matching or whatever make model car they were working on. That was a big thing at one point in time. If it's a gray car, well, they'd take the white hole plug and get it good and clean and use the same touch-up paint that matched up, a rock chip on that same car. So that was a thing. I don't know that it still is. I'm not out in the field around repairs or
I just learned something.
Much. What's that?
I just learned something. I don't really drill holes. I do carry a drill. There was one time on one job where I had an opportunity where I would have felt comfortable drilling a hole to get the thing done. And I couldn't find my unibit to save my life. I searched through that entire car. I found it later.
You know what? It's probably a good thing because all it takes is that one time, and then you might end up in a life of debauchery and just run around with a drill in one hand, a tool in the other, and stuff like that.
Right. I carry a drill with me, but I do all my R&I with a drill. Like I use a drill instead of an impact to take bolts in and out.
You know what? Way back to whenever I did my training, part of it ended up from Sanger, Texas, to the biggest storm ever that hit New Orleans. Part of my training evidently was to learn R&I, and God bless you, Nick, if you like R&I, because that sucks. I hate trying to take cars apart.
Yeah, right.
I've broken so many visors over the years, and just out of frustration.
Right.
Well,
Well, that's why I use a
benefit.
drill. So
Yeah.
you can feel like the tension on it instead of like being an impact.
It's not a bad idea.
It's your story, man. I got to where I always had R&I people.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's a big benefit of coming out of the body shop to learn PDR is the R&I.
Yeah.
I mean, we have that knowledge and we're not scared of it. I mean, I start every job by taking everything apart. And even if I don't go in from the backside, I had that option, and I could have gotten the job done faster if I had that option from the start. So I have no problems taking glass out. I got a $150 door ding and a $600 piece of glass. I'm taking that glass out.
Right. Right.
What's Lee Ross saying there?
Lee said he had to go behind a tech in 2012 on a storm that Craig and him worked on, saved a push to paint clean, and there was 15 holes drilled in the hood. He says access was great.
You you run across that every now and then.
Right. Every once in a while. So Stefan, so just if somebody's already drilled a hole, are you going to use it or leave it alone?
Yeah, I've already done that.
Yeah, he's going to go. He's going to go in there all the way.
But that's only happened once, and the hole didn't get me to where I needed to be, to fix the dent. That they drilled the hole to fix this dent. They half fixed it, So there I am going in through the same hole, not being able to fix it. So I glue pulled it and fixed it in one pull.
Yeah.
So why did they drill the hole?
Lazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's laziness. But I tell you what, I know from the time I was trained, I was more fortunate than most to be around the people that train me and work with them for quite some time to become efficient. Sounds like you guys, certainly Stefan, you've got an Uber master like David White to lean on. How much easier does that make it for you guys? And here I am asking you guys questions, but what would you tell younger guys that want to get involved with PDR and learning and stuff like that? I think almost every town in the United States is going to have a tech or a freestanding shop or multiple, like the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I couldn't tell you how many. Would you guys recommend to somebody that doesn't know squat just to go meet people, visit people? They're going to run across somebody cool that would take them under their wing, or maybe some jerks. I mean, what would you guys say along those lines as far as meeting people?
First off, I love that you're asking questions. So I just want to say that. Two, absolutely. That's a great way to get your foot in the door before you buy the tools, before you make the investment in training or anything. Walk into a shop and be like, hi, I'm very interested in this. What's this like? Things like that. And the guy might be a jerk, so maybe you want to steer clear of those, but most of them aren't, especially in this industry.
Yeah. 99% good people.
Yeah. I've run into nothing but good. I mean, the only interaction, and I didn't even have it, it's just Nick went to a very oversaturated area of hail techs and had a hard time connecting with the people in that area. So that's my only interaction with PDR techs that don't really interact.
What town or community are you in, Nick?
I'm in Mississippi, north part. I'm in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's probably an hour from Memphis. So if you've ever heard of Elvis, then you've probably heard of Tupelo.
Yeah. I actually saw some show on it Netflix a week or so ago. It's more about crime, but I know the Dallas-Fort Worth area had a handful of body shops that if I was in town, I would take care of some stuff, and I would let them know if hell hits and I got to go out of town, I'm adios. So that's how the relationship's going to be. And then over time, other techs picked up my accounts, and rightfully so. And I'm just saying, if it was oversaturated with hail techs and you can slip in there, not in a malicious way, but fill the void, so to speak.
Right.
And maybe you're already doing that, but that's
in my area, there's pretty much no other PDR tech here. So I don't have any form of competition, and some people would say that's great, but competition is kind of good in a
Sure.
way.
Sure.
It balances out like what my quote or what my experience is with someone else's. Here, I really only have body shops to like bounce my quotes off of.
Right.
So
Right.
while it is good, it's also bad because there's nobody else really here for people to call to get something else, as a verification.
Sure.
So it probably would be nice to have one other person or two, a couple
It's
people
so
here to
nice.
kind of, have that going on.
Well, you
But
just told people where you're at. You're liable to have 10 there next week.
hey, that's fine. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I've never really I haven't spent a lot of time with other like seasoned hail techs or PDR techs in general. So what I do is what I do, and it's
A
kind of
great
just
niche.
formed into what
You
like I know.
you have mentioned that it's not that you're jealous, but that you like for me that I have the camaraderie with David White,
Sure.
local, like the mentor.
Yeah.
So clearly it's a good thing,
No,
to
it
have
is a
those
good
guys in
thing
your area.
because like if I get hung up on something, or if I'm like, you know what, how should I go about pricing this particular job, and did I like pricing versus performing a repair and all that other stuff. Like sometimes I'm left myself with, did I is that the correct way to go about that, or should I have done something different?
And that's a great thing to have somebody just walk into their shop, shoot the shit, mention the situation, and get their opinion on.
Yeah.
I mean, to the same effect, you can call any of these
I
people.
mean, you can, but every market is different. Like
Yeah.
from Texas to
Yep.
Arizona to
No, you're right.
Colorado to
You're right.
Florida, and your local market is what you're looking for.
Yep.
Sure.
And it's just different. Like sometimes I'm not sure if some of the calls I've made have been maybe the best. I mean, I did make them calls nonetheless, but I've had to learn from a lot of them. It is what it is on that part.
At the end of the day, just create your own wake in your
Right.
town, in
That's
this
that's
world.
what I've been doing.
And
Ignore everyone
yeah,
else. Do your thing.
yeah, just create your own wake. I mean, uh, I'm fortunate enough to work for a company, very fortunate to work for a company called Anson that
Yep.
we create our own wake, and we hear chatter, oh, is that your competition, this, that, and the other? No, we create our own wake and let the chips fall where they may,
Mhm.
and got no control over anybody else, and no reason to worry about it. And I think in your world, you guys' world, what you're talking about, just create your own wake, and everything's going to be fine.
Mm.
If you have to get CT Dentworks printed on some hole plugs to maybe push David White out of the way, then go
Yeah.
for it, man.
I love how he said right here. He says that Nick, you could have David's problem. All these damn body shop guys trying to
Yeah.
slide it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh
I
man.
do have a lot of people asking me like, how can they get into it, and could I show them? And I'm like, I don't even know how to do it myself. I'm just here like just making the day. Like I'm learning as I go.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's tons of options out there for people that are interested in it, and I think Stefan hit it pretty good earlier as far as maybe some people should kind of look before they leap. But when you leap, you better be all in if you're going to get into PDR.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. You got to be
know,
willing to dedicate your mindset.
Yeah. You got to be able
to
to
this.
accept some failure. And let me tell you, you didn't find your tooltip the first 5 minutes that you're trying to see it through the metal and the reflection of a light. Seems impossible. And then when you get it down, any tool you grab's like second nature. You go automatically to the dent in the right part.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I mean, speaking of newbies, you recently met this guy, Jesse Stephen Harrison. He says I was still wet behind the ears, so didn't know who he was. Was a super cool and helpful guy. But
That's
Jesse is
paid advertising.
Jesse is was on the show recently.
Okay.
And he was talking about, I mean, he had just gone to the expo. He's over in that part of the country. And he's real. I mean, this guy's dedicated. He's got what it takes. You can see what he's doing. And he sent me a text the other day. He's like, I'm going to MTE. I gotta meet people. I gotta connect. I gotta network. You guys are right. I'm coming. And it's like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Keep preaching it, because all it does is help somebody out. You guys already have a testimonial of how y'all met, and how it helped both of you guys out to get out to an event or 2 or 10. Jesse, looking forward to seeing you at MTE, man.
Absolutely. I was really happy to hear he was coming. There's a number of guys that I'm very very interested in meeting this year, and Jesse's one of them. So really looking forward to it. Oh, it's I didn't even realize we're already at an hour.
Right.
I tell you what,
it went by fast. Like, just trying to keep up with some of these comments have been, they've been coming by pretty fast.
Ron Cronin, you're right, Ron. You got to have a level of commitment. You've been doing it for a long time. I'm 30 years. You're probably about 40 years into it, you old fart.
Yeah.
Sounds like someone we should have on the show.
There you go.
There we go.
Right.
I'm just reading through the comments here, but yeah, no, it's Craig. We really appreciate you coming on. Really looking forward to seeing you. What is it, next week?
You know what? This coming Sunday, our team that drives will start driving. We're crossing our fingers on weather starting this weekend.
It's gonna be cold.
Chris Howe and I, and possibly a couple of others, will be doing what we call the gout route when we go to Florida. And the gout route is not recommended on your New Year's resolutions of eating properly. We start off at Don Seafood in Lafayette, Louisiana, and eat all the oysters we can. Then we end up at Beauchamp's in Destin, Florida. And anyway, any of you guys want to try the ride with us on the gout route sometime? You're welcome to, but I can't promise you're going to be in great shape once you get there.
That's amazing. I can't wait to hear all about it.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah.
And, I'm super excited to see young guys like yourselves doing what you're doing in the industry and for the industry with your podcast and all. I'm super impressed, and you guys keep rocking, and see you in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Yep,
absolutely. Can't wait. Can't wait.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's to everyone. I mean, we've got one more show before MTE. We also go live from MTE. So looking forward to that. But yeah,
that'll be fun. Yep.
And I'm going to wish you all smaller dents and bigger dollars.
I love
you next time.
Let's sign off. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
So crank it up loud.